You're listening to a Rev FM production podcast. Welcome to Pastors Live, the show that discusses things of the Bible and current events for people who love to laugh. And now, the hosts who answer questions with more questions. It's Pastors Dave, Ty, Shane, and the other guy.
Hey everybody, God bless you. It is Thursday, August 8th. You have tuned in either by hook or by crook, by accident or on purpose, to Pastors Live. And we are so grateful that you have joined us. My name is Dave Coleman, and I'm one of the pastors at Water Springs Church. To my left is Pastor Shane McCurry.
Hello.
Shane, what do you do?
Man, I am one of the assisting pastors here at Water Springs Church. Right now, it's a fun season. It's kind of a transition season. There's going to be some news coming up shortly about where I'm going and the responsibilities. But right now, I'm with youth ministry and outreach, and then just basic pastoral responsibilities as well. It's a blessing to be here, man.
So you're our outreach and missions pastor.
Yes, sir.
And to your left, we have a very special guest that we're going to introduce in a minute because of that. To my right is Pastor Steve Redmer.
I'm here.
Hi, Steve.
Wow.
I can't hear you. Oh, I know why. I've got your microphone turned down.
Yeah, you have me turned down.
And I'm not saying I turned it down because you were late.
I can yell louder.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Now I can hear you.
How are you?
Hi, Steve.
Dude, you killed it at Church at the Park. I loved the song choices.
It went well. It went really good.
Right.
So I was excited about that. We had a great
day.
It was a great day.
Man,
wish we could do it twice a year.
So would that be cool? Seriously. Ben, who is our engineer today, may disagree with that. Ben, how would you like to have Church in the Park twice a year?
Be awesome.
Man, let me tell you, as one of the people that no longer has to do footwork to make Church in the Park happen, I want it every week.
Oh, hey! Woo,
There we go.
You know the big guy, so you probably have more influence than we do.
Maybe not. I don't know if you want to do that.
I was telling somebody afterwards, we need to do one in the winter and just test everybody's faith.
That's pretty cool.
Go out there, break some ice in the river. Come on, let's get dunked.
See, this is what comes of being an Assembly of God guy.
You know those new trending videos where they like heat up an iron ball or whatever, and then they put it through different objects? There's a bunch of videos like that are trending where they test different objects and stuff like that. I think if we got like a smelter or something and just like heated up a giant rock or metal tab or something and put it right under the water.
Yeah.
Man.
It's like, do you really love the Lord? Jump in the river now.
Make it warm like a jacuzzi.
Ben, are you listening to all this?
I am. I'm taking notes. Don't worry.
Taking notes? No, I want you to be shaking your head. Wow. So, not that numbers is the issue, but honestly, the response to the gospel. I mean, Pastor Ty, God bless him, man. He was committed to, I'm just going to preach the simple gospel. And the response was amazing, and I love that. And over 100 people, I know the numbers, but over 100 people were baptized. And that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a long day in the water.
It was it was a great day.
Were you pruned by the time you got out, Shane?
I think the only thing that got sunburned was the top of my head, which I'm thankful for.
Well, is that what you think? Because I'm looking at your neck. You've got a little color around your neckline there.
It doesn't hurt, though.
Right.
I'll tell you what. The only one that hurt was the top of my head.
That always gets it worse.
Yeah. So
just a big shout out to Corey and his crew.
Yeah, those guys are.
Those guys, man, the setup and tear down of that thing is just pretty amazing. I mean, it's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but they got it organized. They come and do. They know what to do,
right?
And they do it. And it's just like the truck that they have with it just folds up, and they got to take the speakers down and set it up and make sure all the mics and everything are working with cords, cables. Right. Oh, it's we were there Saturday,
right?
Setting up rehearsing, and we were there till we got there about 3:30. We got out of there about 8:30.
Nice.
Right.
And so it was a long afternoon.
But, man, it was hot on Saturday.
It was hot.
But there it is, right? I mean,
it was amazing.
The fruit of those investments, right? The dividends that come from those investments.
Yeah.
So a couple thousand people show up. for Church in the Park.
Yeah.
And you've got all these people up on that hillside. It kind of reminds me of the Mount of the Beatitudes, where Christ is preaching from Peter's boat. And when you go to Israel with us, we take you to this area. And it may not be the exact area, but you're within a couple hundred yards one way or the other, you know. And you just look up here, and here's this sort of this natural, almost an amphitheater type of a thing. And that voice just carries, you know, that's just great. And to see the people that are there, and to know all of the work and the prayer that thing is bathed in, and then to see people responding to the gospel. And, you know, our altar call team, just always on it.
Yeah. We had a great team this year. I mean, one of the things that really blessed me is, aside from all the people coming to Christ, right? That's why we do the whole thing.
Right.
But one of the other things is, this year we had just a great help crew. And it might have been one of the quickest setups and teardowns that we've done.
Isn't that cool?
In the past 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Because typically the cleanup takes forever. It takes longer than the setup, and you know, you'll have a couple guys here until 6-7 o'clock. You know, we were all said and done at around 3 o'clock.
Right, we had a great crew this
year.
So
thanks to everybody who showed up and helped. God bless everybody who got baptized and gave their lives to Christ.
Yeah.
Awesome day.
Love it. So we're grateful for what the Lord has done. We haven't slowed down any, because there's more work to be done. And, you know, I love it, our reading in Romans 11 yesterday and today, you know, and you just realize, what's the Lord doing with all of these people? What's he doing? He's grafting them in, you know. And if you've been born again, you've been grafted in. You are, as my dad taught me when I was a kid, he taught me a little poem, right? It says, roses are reddish, violets are bluish. Thanks to Jesus, we're all Jewish. And we've been grafted in, man, to the elect, to the elect of God, to those whom he has chosen. And so, I'm with you, Shane and Steve. You know, congratulations to everybody who made the wisest decision of your life, to give your life over to the Lord Jesus Christ, to follow him in baptism. You know, we say it all the time on this program, but that's the simple gospel, right? It's the gospel I got to preach in Sligo, Ireland, a couple of Sundays ago, that God became one of us in the person of Jesus Christ. And then he, Jesus, who knew no sin, became our sin, crucified it to the cross of Calvary, wiping out all of our sin debt. He died on the cross according to the Scriptures. He was dead and buried. After 3 days, he rose again according to the Scriptures. And he says to you, as many as receive him, he will give you the right, the authority, the power to be called the sons of God. That's the gospel. That's what Pastor Ty preached on Sunday. The response was out of this world. And now we got 100 more members of the family in responding to the gospel. Now, what we read in Romans 11 is that the fullness of the Gentiles is what we're waiting for right now. What does that mean? We're waiting for that last person who is going to put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And that's when the fullness of the Gentiles will happen. And when that happens, we get to go home to heaven. So if you're listening today and you're that last sucker that's holding us up, man, come on.
Yeah, let's go.
Would you get saved? We want to go home. So, Shane, and that's what happens in our outreach ministry. That's what missions is all about. And the guy to your left, catty corner to me, or kitty corner. How do you say that? Is it kitty corner, catty corner? Ben, what's the proper way of saying that? Is it kitty corner?
It's kitty corner.
Kitty corner. The guy who is kitty corner to me, to your left, Shane, my good buddy, Mr. Bradley Dick. Take it away. Tell us about young Bradley.
Brad has been one of my good buddies for pretty much ever since I've been saved, which is awesome. Brad, say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
And that's why we love Brad.
That's why we love Brad.
He fits right in.
Simon says, say hello. Hello.
And so Brad, we brought
right in.
Brad on to the program to share the amazing upcoming adventure that he and his bride are going on. Brad, what's in the future for you, buddy?
Oh man, all sorts of cool stuff, dude. Dude, I know it for sure.
Why don't you tell everybody what you're going to be doing?
Right on. All right.
It's radio.
It's radio.
Yeah, dead air doesn't work.
Okay, all right. So my lovely bride and I will be headed over to the Philippines.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going for an island vacation, a prolonged island vacation, where we get to spread the gospel nearly constantly. It'll be awesome.
You're going to be a vacationary then?
Nice.
No.
It's vacation with a purpose.
It's like a workcation.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop.
But not
work
for
the
2
whole
weeks.
time.
That's
Not
where,
even for 2 months.
That's where you go, Shane. We don't do vacationaries here.
Absolutely not.
You're going to be a
Missionary.
There you go.
There we go.
How long are you guys going to be? Like 6 to 8 months, right?
8 months. We're thinking
months.
8 months. You know, I can tell you 6. I can tell you 8. But really, the
plan,
Ministry of
the
Foreign
goal.
Affairs will determine what that's going to do.
That's true.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, who are you teaming up with over in the Philippines? Where are you going to be staying?
So there are 2 missionaries that are over there currently, Jim and Keitha Lanley. They're the 2 missionaries that we already support here at Water Springs.
Right. If you
And-
guys remember, we went to Thailand not long ago, about a year ago, and we hooked up with Jim and Keitha there in Thailand.
Oh,
saw
yeah.
their ministry.
Oh, yeah.
And Brad was on that team.
We actually, my wife had a Facebook post that was like I don't remember how Facebook works exactly, but it brings up this like, hey, remember this thing?
Oh yeah, your
Just
the
memories.
memories.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, lunch with Jim and Keitha Lanley over at
Jalisco.
Jalisco's. We took them, so they brought us out to a dinner. We ate at their house. They gave us a presentation, and so we wanted to know more about them. So we took him out to lunch, and then Shane and I put him on the grill and grilled him for 2 hours, finding out who is Jesus, do you believe in the Trinity, tell us about the virgin birth, explain it to me. What do you believe? And it was a pretty amazing time. But anyway, we're gonna go join with those 2 over there in the Philippines, and I mean, they are rocking and holy rolling over there. There's so much stuff going on.
Right, absolutely. And you guys are selling everything, packing everything up, right?
Yeah.
So you're moving across seas. Yeah. And what are the things that you are excited for in that season, Brad?
You know, oh man. Okay, so I've been doing some reading in Kings, and there is this prophet. He just shows up out of nowhere in chapter 17. And nobody knows much about his past, but he just shows up on the scene. He's just working his guts out, doing what God's told him to do. His name is Elijah, right? Elijah comes by, and he's going through all these things. He's praying for rain. He's praying for no rain. He's running around killing prophets of Baal and Asherah. And he gets to this point where he's kind of in a funk, and God says, hey, cruise on over here. Go anoint this king, go anoint that king, and go anoint your predecessor. And he goes and he shows up, and there's Elisha that's just hanging out in his field, plowing a field. Elijah shows up behind him, wham, bam, throws on a cloak on Elijah's back, and then it's like, hey, you're it. You're anointed. That was it. I don't know if it was by surprise. I don't know if he's seen him coming, but all I know is that it was quick. It was fast. And Elisha immediately was right into the ministry. It was faster than he thought it was going to happen, and he was immediately into the ministry. And I don't know, I'm not saying that I'm an Elisha, but it kind of feels like that situation where it was like, bam, here you go. This is what's going to happen. And I am so excited to partner with Jim and Keitha, because of the work that they've done and the fruit that they've bore, you can see how the Spirit works through them. That is exciting. And to be able to just apprentice underneath somebody like that, that is going to be, oh, what a blessing it is.
So what's the primary focus of Jim and Keitha's ministry, since you guys are going to be discipled by them, kind of trained up in the missionary front by them? Give our listeners kind of the rundown of the priority on the mission field. It's not just, hey, we're going to the beach, hanging out, all that stuff. Talk about the different types of things that we saw in Thailand and that you just know from Jim and Keitha that are going to be the focus of what you guys are doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jim and Keitha they have an aversion to what they call vacationaries. If they're there, they're getting the work done. They're the hands and feet of Christ. Matthew 28 tells us to go make disciples and baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They are constantly doing that. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, they're just living, eating, breathing, sleeping, making disciples, and baptizing. They're constantly at it. Jim, he's an amazing preacher. He goes here, he goes there, he preaches sermons. He always throws out an option, the altar call, essentially, an option to come to Christ. And that's his goal. Jim wants to see disciples make disciples. And I mean, what a blessing that is. In his own ministry, he's accounted to us times where he's seen third and fourth generations of disciples that he's made make more disciples.
Love it.
And it's just continued down and throughout.
Ultimately, that's the main goal, and that's why I love Jim. That's why we support him and want to see his ministry flourish, because we're talking about a guy who goes to coffee shops and preaches the gospel, and then he will follow up and disciple the guy or the gal that hears the gospel and responds, right? And he's crafted DM Squared, right? Which is a disciple program going through the scriptures, teaching the fundamentals of Christianity, right? And it helps bring on new believers specifically and equip them to share with other people, right? His rule that he has for DM Squared is, if you want to add anybody to the group, if you go out and preach the gospel and you add anybody to the group and you want to bring them a part of this, you have to catch them up to where we are, right? Yep. So you go, you disciple them, you take them through the material, and then once you're caught up to the week that we're on or whatever, the section that we're on, then you can come back with them and we can all do it together, right? And so it encourages these young believers to share their faith. And so you're going to be involved in doing that 100%. And it comes down to preaching the gospel and getting people plugged into a local church. That's what Jim's all about. And so missions is not just going and building or doing humanitarian projects and having fun. You can do that on the mission field. Not saying that's can't do that at all. But what it boils down to is what you're doing truly a part of the gospel. Are you sharing the gospel? Are you preaching the gospel? And are you either plugged into a local church and helping plug those people that you're preaching the gospel into to a local church, or are you helping build the local church so that they can take on the future generations?
Exactly.
So, one of the things that we want people to know is that Brad and Haley are supported by Water Springs, right? They are Water Springs missionaries, and if you would like to get connected with Brad and Haley, they're going to be having newsletters. Are you guys doing monthly, or what's your plan? I know that you've been talking with the Bordenkirchers about a plan for keeping people updated. What are you thinking about, monthly?
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to do monthly. I mean, by the will of God, we would love to be able to do
That's
monthly.
What you're planning on.
Now, is that going to be strictly like a digital newsletter?
We have a few
then.
kinks in it, but we're thinking that it's all gonna be online.
Primarily online,
Perfect.
right?
That makes so much sense.
And so they'll have their monthly newsletter available, emailed out. If you want to be a part of that, you can email me, Shane@watersprings.net, and I can get you plugged into Brad and Haley's email updates and their newsletter. And if you would like to support Brad and Haley, the support for Brad and Haley is all out of Water Springs missions budget. And so what we are so thrilled about is that through people who are generous and want to be a part of the Great Commission, because we understand that not everybody can pack up and go across the seas, but we are all called to be a part of the Great Commission. Yeah. So whether your time, talents, or your treasures can go towards that, if you would love to give, you can give to Water Springs Missions because it helps support Brad and Haley, and also it will help to support future missionaries that we want to support and raise up as well. People like Mackenzie McIsaac, right. If you're part of the body, we help finance her through her summer missionary journeys, and if she wants to go full-time ever, we would love to do that. So you can support us and by giving to Water Springs Missions and Outreach. That all goes to people like Brad and Haley, and we're super excited. Brad, Haley, encourage people about the Great Commission because we got about 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. I don't, Jesus says it in John 14. He says, if you love me, obey my commands. One of the things he commands us to do is to go make disciples, to baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And to teach them to obey the things that I have commanded. Bam. Jesus just creates like a self-replicating circle right now. Yeah, every new disciple makes a disciple that knows how to make a disciple.
There you go. And hey, guys, we are out of time. Brad, do me a favor. Can you hang around, and would you mind coming back for tomorrow's program?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think that question that Shane just asked, we got to talk about that. And you guys keep talking about discipling. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that on tomorrow's program. Hey, listen, folks, we are out of time. Please tune in tomorrow to Pastors Live. If you have a question, comment that you would like to share with us, that's pastorslive@therev.fm. If you have any complaints, that's Shane@watersprings.net. God bless you. You're loved, your family. You know the thing.
You've reached the end of another episode of Pastors Live, a Rev FM production podcast. Thank you for listening. Submit your questions and comments by email to pastorslive@therev.fm. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review from your favorite podcast listening platform. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon so you don't miss the next episode drop.